Welcome to World of Warcraft What's Next?
Hello, Blizzcon! Welcome to my very favorite part of every Blizzcon, the World of Warcraft What's Next panel, where we get to talk about what you have to look forward to over the next year or so in this game that we all love. So, where do we stand right now? At the start of Battle for Azeroth, in the last 2 months since the game came out, we have seen millions of brave adventurers journey to Kul Tiras and Zandalar and explore, meet and defeat new enemies, forge new alliances, make new friends, and yes, aid roughly 760 million turtles in making it to the water. It's a true stat. But in a lot of ways, we really do stand at the beginning of a journey, because each expansion in World of Warcraft represents a fresh start. It's a new world to visit, new stories to explore, new systems, new foundations upon which to build. And that's why I stand here excited to talk about the plans that we have looking forward to make Battle for Azeroth the greatest expansion that it can be. Now, there's a couple of pieces to that. First off, we want to continue the philosophies we introduced in Legion in terms of how we approach our patches, how we approach our content updates. We want to make sure that there's always a steady stream of content. Things to look forward to, things to experience, things to keep the experience interesting and varied. And so we want to continue the patch plan that we had in terms of alternating major content updates with so-called .5 patches and really have robust support from start to finish. We never want people to wait too long for the next thing, for the next adventure. But we also understand that a key component of that is the systems and the rewards that tie it all together. Those are the connective tissue that make the content meaningful. And none of that matters if the rewards are frustrating rather than fulfilling, or if the systems feel like they're letting you down. And that's something that we always know we need to listen, we need to work on, and it is our primary focus as we push forward. This is not something... This story is far from over. We stand here at the first chapter in this great journey, and I couldn't be more excited to just give you a little sneak peek at the next few chapters. So first off, now I know for many of you here and a lot of you watching along at home, Tides of Vengeance is old news. It's been on the test realm for a couple months, but I just want to give a quick recap just to set the stage for what will follow. So, key components of this update. First off, we have the new Warfront in Darkshore, as well as an update to the outdoor zone of Darkshore, as the Alliance strikes back, as the Alliance tries to reclaim this foothold in Kalimdor, to take revenge against the Horde for the crimes that they wrought upon Teldrassil in the shadow of this great tree. We also have war coming to the shores of Kul Tiras and Zandalar, as Horde and Alliance assaults, add new outdoor gameplay as you rally to defend your allies' cities from the enemy faction's invasion. It's a clump of world quests leading to a capper experience, again, reminiscent of the Legion assaults that we had back in 7.2, except this time around, it's the enemy faction invading as opposed to the Burning Legion. We have new island expeditions that will take you to Jorindal and Havenswood, as well as systemic improvements to island rewards, the pacing of the experience, and the way that islands are spawned. We, of course, have an all-new raid zone, the Battle of Dazar'alor. And this is something that we are incredibly excited about. This is for the first time ever, what a villain means in World of Warcraft is typically it's embodied in the end boss of a raid. When you played Burning Crusade, well, Illidan was the one who was telling you were not prepared. When you played Wrath of the Lich King, you were seeking to climb Icecrown Citadel to confront the Lich King at the end. Well, in Battle for Azeroth, if the villain is the opposite faction, why should that not be expressed in a raid zone to tell our story? And so Horde and Alliance, for the first time, will have different experiences. As on the Alliance side, as you stage an assault of Dazar'alor, on the Horde side, as you rally to defend it. Different bosses, different narratives, all set in the same place to form one intertwining story. The war campaign, of course, continues, featuring some of our favorite diminutive champions. We'll get to see Gallywix and Mekatork really go head-to-head. Of course, heritage armor for non-allied races. Blood Elves, you can learn about your heritage. Dwarves as well, as you recover lost crafting arts. But that's some of the content. We also have a ton of systems improvements coming down the pipe, many of which have been in our test realm in recent weeks, others of which are soon to follow. We're taking a hard look at the Azerite armor system as a whole, tripling the number of traits for a given spec that are going to be in each piece in Season 2 and beyond, increasing the ways in which you can obtain them, whether it's the emissaries that have been available on the live servers, or the new currency and mythic keystone system that's coming in Tides of Vengeance, and more. We have a doubloon vendor to give you greater control over the rewards that you pursue through island expeditions. We're looking at emissary rewards as a whole. We made a ton of improvements to how reputation works across multiple characters. So if you have a transmog that requires a reputation, that's automatically unlocked for all of your characters. You shouldn't have to do the reputation multiple times. Or if you're trying to get that 100 Exalted Reputations achievement and feel tied to this character that you played a long time ago that has some unavailable achievements. Again, all of that progress should be account-wide. That's coming in Tides of Vengeance. We're also looking at the way Warfronts and their content is structured and moving to a bit more of a daily cadence while you have control or while contributions are going on, so that when you finally claim Darkshore or you claim Arathi, it's not just like a mountain of quests to do all at once, bang them all out in 30 minutes, and then you're done for a week and a half, but rather world quests and other daily things that are there on a recurring basis while your faction controls it, so there are reasons to go back. Same thing with the contributions. Rather than front-loading it all as like a dozen turn-ins right away, every day there'll be new things that are required. It'll also smooth out the rate at which your faction unlocks the Warfront. We're continuing to rework PvP talents, making a wide range of class changes, and more on that front. And we're also looking at how War Mode works, making sure that we're properly incentivizing to calibrate risk and reward. I think if you are the underrepresented faction at a given time, maybe you should get a bit more in the way of rewards to make War Mode worth your while. The goal here was always to make sure that you can have a fun and satisfying PvP experience, but that it never feels like you're being inefficient or sacrificing pursuit of your progression because you're jumping into a situation that's lopsided. So a lot more improvements along those lines still coming. And so that leads to the natural question of when will this patch be in your hands? When will this update be yours? Well, as always, and as I said at the start, we want to keep content coming as quickly as possible. But at the same time, we know that it's essential to take the time that's required to polish, to respond to feedback, to iterate, to make it the best experience that it can be, and to make it the experience that you all deserve. And so, while we'd love to get it to you sooner, Tides of Vengeance will be in your hands just over a month from now. December 11th in North America, 12th in Europe, 13th in Asia. And don't worry, the Battle of the Zarlor raid, that's coming early next year. You're not going to have to worry about progression over the holidays. And you still have a little bit of time to finish Uldir, so content should be paced as people are ready for it. Now, before I actually turn the stage over to a couple of my compatriots who are going to tell you all about 815 and what's coming beyond, I have one more little surprise I want to share. So, the Darkshore Warfront, as I mentioned, sets the stage for this climactic battle where the Night Elves return to the ashes of their homeland. And accompanying that is a narrative that lets us know more about Tyrande and others. And along the way, as you play through this content, there's a little in-game cinematic that you're going to witness that sets the stage for the battle to come. And so here, for the first time, I'd like to present Terror of Darkshore.
All of it? The entire shipment, down to the last sack of grain. This one's the only survivor.
One Sunday, do not take me yet.
What happened?
We were bringing supplies to the warfront, just like all the other times.
Pick up the pace! We got to get these supplies to our soldiers by dawn!
We are coming. One Sunday. Do not take me yet.
He expects us to believe this tale. No single night elf to do all that.
I know one who could. We will hold this ground for the Horde.
And so, yes, a little reminder about the true nature of the Night Elves. You might think of them as this, peace-loving, tree-hugging race. But no, there's a reason why they truly strike terror into the hearts of the Horde, at least the Horde who know. So without further ado, let me introduce Ryan Schwader, senior game designer, who's going to tell you all about what's coming next after Tides of Vengeance.
Woo! Yeah! How about that? Oh my gosh. Thank you very much. Welcome to Blizzcon, and thank you, Ian. Tides of Vengeance is looking absolutely epic. But as a Pandaren once said, slow down. That's what the .5 updates are all about. In 7.3.5, we introduced you to the first 4 allied races: Void Elves, Lightforged Draenei, High Mountain Tauren, and Nightborn. With the launch of Battle for Azeroth, we introduced the Mag'har Orcs and Dark Iron Dwarves. And I'm happy to say that in 8.1.5, we have 2 more for you. For the Alliance, the Cultier Inhumans, and for the Horde, I think the Horde won that one, so let's talk about the Zandalari first. You can see that their heritage armor is predictably ostentatious. That's the Zandalari, that's who they are. Recent unrest within the King's Council, as well as attacks within their borders, have left them destabilized. But in helping to stabilize Zandalar, you'll earn the Zandalari Trolls as an ally for the Horde. We can see from the classes available to them that they're an incredibly versatile people. Perhaps most notably, Paladins of the Horde. You like that? We can see from the racial abilities available to them that the Zandalari are lovers. They're lovers of the Loa with Embrace the Loa, lovers of gold with City of Gold, lovers of not dying with Regenerating, and of course, perhaps above all, lovers of dinosaurs with Pterodax Swoop. Their mount can be nothing other than a dinosaur. Now believe me, I tried to convince everyone to make it a lowrider, but no one was having any of it. I tried hard, trust me. Here's their druid forms. You can see they're heavily inspired by prehistoric beasts and dinosaurs. Looking really cool. Let's talk about the Cultier Inhumans. Yeah, I knew we'd have to get you it sometime. So the Cultier Inhumans are one of the most interesting new human cultures we've introduced since World of Warcraft's launch. They're capable seafarers, incredible shipwrights, and fearless explorers. And they're going to prove vital in the fight against Sylvanas' Horde. Oh, that guy looks buff. Here we can see their classes. Most notably, Human Druids and Shaman for the Alliance. Their racial abilities reflect their stout fortitude with Haymaker and Brush It Off, their artisanal versatility with Jack of all trades, and their bond with the ocean, with Child of the Sea and Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Here we see a conspicuous question mark. It's not a quest, don't try to turn it in. We argued for weeks, even months, about what the mount should be for a new human race. And finally, someone had an idea that was completely outside the box. This is not what you expect. Horses. It's what you expected. Of course a horse, of course. Here we see their druid forms, heavily inspired by the Druss culture. This is their unique, wait, one of them seems to be missing. We get, they're always late to the party. I don't know what I was gonna say, so let's just move on to the Darkmoon Fair. Silas Darkmoon, like every great amusement park tycoon, is always on the lookout for new ways to attract new visitors. And he realized in a recent audit that something was missing. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, characters of all classes, I give you the Grivern. Yeah. This roller coaster will be available at the Darkmoon Fair the next time Darkmoon rolls into town at 815. Now, the Darkmoon Fair might be the most common holiday in Azeroth, but there's many more celebrated throughout Azeroth and beyond. We know some of these are getting long in the tooth, and we'd like to update them over time. And this time in 815, we're taking the chance to update one of our favorites, Children's Week. There will be new quest lines for the Kultiran and Zandalari orphans. They're adorable, right? We know a lot of you are enjoying the micro holidays that we introduced in Legion, like Trial of Style and the Kirin Tor Tavern Crawl. And we'd like to add more of these as time goes on. In 815, we're returning to the Krasarang Wilds to go to the Wanderers Festival and celebrate Liu Lang and Shenzhen Zhu, the Great Turtle. We'll dive under the great reefs of Vashir, your favorite zone to swim in. And who loves t-shirts? Yeah, pretty much everybody. Free t-shirt day is coming to Azeroth. I have no segue to time walking. Time walking was introduced in Warlords of Draenor, so where better to walk back to than Warlords of Draenor itself? You'll get to experience some of the favorite dungeons that Draenor has to offer, as well as the Everbloom. And rewards. How about 2 mounts? Oh yeah. Now we realize that sometimes it's hard to get around. Who can tell me where the Ashran portal is in Stormwind? Wrong. All of you are dead wrong. It's actually in Stormwind Keep. And we realize that as World of Warcraft continues to grow, it can be hard to find your way around. And in our first effort toward improving this travel, we're introducing portal rooms in both Orgrimmar and Stormwind. Now we're building these in such a way that we can actually add to them. So rather than finding yet another nook to shove a portal in the Cleft of Shadow, we can actually add to the portal room over time. Crafters, are you out there? I thought so. I thought so. We know you've been clamoring for content in Battle for Azeroth, and we're more than happy to oblige. We have new quest lines for each and every crafting profession. We call these tools of the trade, and the reward? It's tools of the trade. That's pretty evident. Let's look at a couple. Actually, let's look at all of them. I'll mash them all up there for you because I know you're all going to want to see what your class is getting. Couple examples. Scribes, you'll get blood contracts. You'll have a quill that actually, when you're making these blood contracts, draws from the corpses of the dead around you and heals your wounds. Blacksmiths, you get to repair your own gear every once in a while, instantaneously. And when you're making new armor and weapons, you have a chance to make it indestructible. Now, I'd go over every single one of these, but it's been a few seconds, so it's probably up on the internet already, so you can look at it there. Seems that in every expansion, The Brawlers Guild has to close its doors and retrain its combatants. And I'm happy to say in 815 it's going to make its triumphant return. Now, of course, we wanted to address balance and tier progression, add some new bosses like Mama Stormstout, Philip Carter Tracy, and Robe Robber Robert. But this time we wanted to do something special. We wanted to introduce a quest line that explored the seedy underbelly of the seedy underbelly that is the Brawlers Guild. In a world of Warcraft, it begins, as all great stories do, with murder. And you, as an esteemed member of the Brawlers Guild, you'll be charged with investigating this murder mystery, and the only way you know how, by punching your way to the truth. And rewards? Shirts! So many shirts were destroyed in the creation of this brand new transmog set. Oh, what's that in the back? You wanted to ride everyone's favorite mount or favorite brawler as a mount? Oh, yeah, okay. How about Bruce the Mount? Bruce. And while we're in a fighting mood, let's talk about PvP Battlegrounds. Warsong Gulch and Arathi Basin remastered. Now, of course, we're doing visual updates to make the entire space beautiful. The sky is not the limit. It will actually even look better. But we're preserving the spirit of the original as well as painstakingly maintaining the PvP balance down to the very geometry of the terrain. And what will they look like? Well, I'll explain to you over the next 20 to 30 minutes exactly what they look like. Or we can watch a video. Now, I will qualify this. These are works in progress, and they will look better by the time you get your hands on them. Let's take a look. Conspiratorial whisper. This next video I want to show you, they said not to show it to you because it's hideous. It's in the old Arathi Basin. Who could go back to that after seeing this? I'm going to show it to you anyway. Now, what if I were to tell you that was a group of players fighting against non-player characters? Thanks to AI advancements brought on by the Islands feature, you'll be able to play against AI bots in the new Arathi Comp Stomp Brawl. .825 and beyond. Well, it's going to exist, but I can't talk about it yet. Well, Schwader, why'd you make such a pointless slide? Very astute of you, fictional front row fan. I did want to show you just one more thing. New character models for both the Goblin and Worgen. All right, thank you guys very much. Now, without further ado, please put your hands together for the Baron of Battle Pets himself, Jeremy Muffinus Fiesel.
Thank you, Mr. Schwader. Man, it is always great to be up in front of you guys for another Blizzcon. This gives me the energy for another year of making World of Warcraft. We've got a lot of awesome content coming your way in Tides of Vengeance, in patch 815 and 825. But if you can believe it, there is something that occurs between 815 and 825. We've got another big story to tell in the tale that is Battle for Azeroth. So let me set the stage for you really quickly. Following the raid on the Zandalari capital of Dazar Alor, both sides are reeling. We've lost troops, we've lost champions, we've lost a lot of ships, and we're sort of licking our wounds and trying to figure out what the next move is. It is at this moment of weakness that the Naga make their assault. Across all of the shores of Zandalari and Kul Tiras, they make major attacks, dragging people under the waters. Something evil is going on deep in the seas. And taking a few of their remaining ships and their heroes and champions, both the Alliance and Horde set sail for the great blue beyond. Now, what we find there is not what we expected. We find a crack in the ocean, a chasm, where surrounded by waterfalls, we find a new land. That is, in fact, a very, very old land. We're going to Nazjatar. Our trip to Nazjatar is the kickoff piece of our next major content update, entitled Rise of Ashara. So let's dig right into the continent of Nazjatar. We start here at the south, in the aptly named Ship Graveyard. Things don't go so great for our ships. And we'll work our way up north through the beautiful coral and kelp forests. We'll get to see the ruins of Zinashari and some ancient elven architecture, and ultimately make our way to the Naga city that surrounds Ashara's eternal palace. This is the home base of the Naga. This is the seat of power of Queen Ashara, and we will finally face her in combat. So let's talk for a second about the finer points of what you're going to be doing in Nazjatar. First, of course, we've got awesome new major story quests. We're going to head in here and take the fight directly to Ashara herself. We've got new friends to meet along the way. For the Horde, you will be meeting this beleaguered group of former Naga slaves that have been holed up in a cave just barely trying to survive. You will make new friends with a group of Gilblin, Makura, and Sea Giants who will be on our side and help us fight against the Naga. Now, for the Alliance, you're going to make friends with a deep sea tribe called the Ankoan that you see here on the right. This group has all but been wiped out by the Naga over the generations, and so few of them remain that they know they can never raise their tribe in population again. So those of them that remain have dedicated themselves to spending their life slaying Naga. we're going to help them get revenge. And last but not least, we want to focus heavily in this particular content update on replayable outdoor content. If you liked Suramar, Argus, Timeless Isle of Thunder, the Molten Front, we're even reaching back to our favorite parts of the Burning Crusade and Auchindoun's outdoor towers to grasp all those cool pieces of endgame systems and overlay them over the top. Our goal is that over the course of playing through Nazjatar, you've got new things to see every day. Of course, heading down into the depths that are owned by the Naga and Ashara, we will be meeting tons of brand new foes. Some of them have more old gaudy influence than others. Like this guy, Eyeball Jellyfish. I love this guy. And we will also be seeing the elite units of the Naga, of Ashara's units, including this powerful new Naga warrior and spellcaster. Along the same lines, we'll be getting brand new rewards, these awesome Naga-themed weapons and armor sets, and of course, new mounts. Now, for those astute mount collectors in the audience, you might notice something a little strange about this crab. The thing you hold on to is facing sideways. The crab walks sideways. It's 2018, we did it. And of course, we can't be going to a new zone without some new battle pets. Yes, he is wielding a tiny fork. All of this culminates in an assault on Ashara's Eternal Palace, the entry of which you can see here with this brand new bioluminescent Naga architecture. Ashara's Palace, our headlining raid of this patch, will include 8 bosses. We will be investigating a Naga hatchery. For all of those of you that have been interested in seeing how Naga reproduce, now is the time. There may even be an underwater boss. Really can't wait to hear your feedback on that one. And of course, culminating with Queen Ashara herself. It's a very exciting and gorgeous place to go. This place hasn't seen air in thousands of years. For the first time, you're going to get to see things that feel like they were dredged up from the seafloor. We've got a real quick video to show you. Please keep in mind, all of this is a work in progress and will undergo changes before it hits live. Enjoy. And that's Nazjatar. Got a great shot of the kelp forest here. This is a piece of our concept art. But Nazjatar is not the only mystery that we're going to be exploring in Rise of Ashara. If you were an Alliance player that went through Tiragard Sound, you may have encountered this gentleman. A gnome that has been trying to figure out what's up with this crazy gnomish technology at this rusted vault. And he's been trying to get this vault door open. When you log in to Rise of Ashara, the door is open. And inside, we will find a transponder, a radio signal, that uses technology the likes of which no one's ever seen. So of course, the gnomes and goblins jump at the chance to figure out where it's pointing at. Yes, this is a gnome and goblin adventure. And what they find is a second new landmass for us to explore We're going to Mechagon. The ancient lost city of the gnomes. We will begin our adventure out here on the Junker Wastes, where, beset by death robots, we will find that this is not a happy place. But we're going to meet some allies here as well. Both the Alliance and the Horde are going to be friends with a group that is being hunted by these robots and learn a lot of new things about them. Please welcome the Junker Gnomes. Now, the Mecha Gnomes span a variety of different types, and we're going to learn a lot about their culture. The group that we meet out in the Junker Wastes are those that you see here on the right-hand side. They're less mechanical. They're breaking down even a little bit. And what we learn from them is that there is a gorgeous society inside of yet another vault that we'll have to break our way into. And inside there, the higher caste gnomes live. Those that have given themselves over to their king, King Mechagon, and his vision to turn everybody into robotic components. In this society, the more robot parts you have, the higher up you go in society. And our group of Junker Gnome friends have decided that just wasn't for them. So we're gonna help them break back into their city. Here's a shot of the city right here, and King Mechagon's lightning-enshrouded palace up there in the background. We're gonna be meeting a bunch of new robot enemies that are on the side of King Mechagon, and ultimately taking the fight to Mechagon himself. Now, what all of this outdoor questing experience ultimately culminates in is a brand new dungeon, or should I say, a mega dungeon. What's a mega dungeon? Well, if you remember back when we did Karazhan, we did a dungeon that was twice as long with 8 bosses that featured King Mechagon himself as the end boss. And it's mythic only for now, along with higher item level rewards and brand new and unique pets and mounts and items to collect. This is gonna be an awesome double-length dungeon. We think you're gonna love it. You're gonna fight your way all the way out from the Junker Wastes, kill the killer death robots, bust your way inside, make your way down through the trash compactor, because of course that's how you bust your way into any great, well-armored facility. And take the fight up to King Mechagon inside his lightning-shrouded palace shown here, where he, of course, is piloting a giant death robot. Let's take a quick look at a video showing us an early shot of Mechagon. That is Mechagon. It's a really fun space. Anytime we do a goblin and gnome adventure, of course, there's going to be wacky hijinks. Okay, but what else have we got coming for you in Rise of Ashara? Well, we will be continuing to tell the major stories of some of our top-tier characters. We're going to be seeing what's next for Sylvanas. What are her plans? If you're a lore hound, you may notice we have a couple of things sprinkled in this talk that you may notice are a little interesting. We'll be seeing what's next for Saurfang, who you saw earlier today. And on the Alliance side, Jaina and Anduin continue to be the linchpins of trying to stop Sylvanas' evil plans. And we're going to be checking back in with Magni to see how the whole healing the world thing is going. Spoilers, it's not great. We're gonna work with him. It's gonna get better. If you like the heritage armors that we showed off in Tides of Vengeance for the dwarves and the blood elves, yes, please, yes, they're awesome. We love doing these awesome lore hits for some of our classic races, so we're going to be doing 2 more in Rise of Ashara. For the Horde, our ancient allies, the Tauren. You will be going on a spiritual journey with the Spirit Walkers to find out why things are restless in Thunder Bluff. And for the Alliance, we couldn't be going to Mechagon without taking one last check-in with our diminutive friends, the Gnomes. Of course, as a gnome, you are going to be blasting the heck out of a whole lot of trogs with a spaceship. And if you're a gnomish engineer, you'll notice that for the first time in a while, you get goggles that you can put up on your forehead. Okay, what else have we got coming in Rise of Ashara? Well, oops, sorry. Can we go to the next one? No? Next one? Technical difficulties? Okay, go back, go back. Back one more. Don't look. Thank you. Oh, we've got more island expeditions coming at you, like Ian was talking about. We've got a lot of great systemic improvements, including a doubloons vendor with pets and mounts and tricorn hats coming in Tides of Vengeance. We will be continuing to add new island expeditions in Rise of Ashara. The first one, which you already saw. If you were a huge lore hound, you were probably wondering, where was Crestfall, a Warcraft 2 map that was part of the Cold Tyran group of islands from way back when? This was the island in Warcraft 2 where you very first fought dragons and griffin riders. We're going to be heading back there, and you will be seeing some of the remnants of what happened during that fight way back in the day. And on the other side of the spectrum, we're going to a place called Snowblossom Village. This is a small Pandaren town nestled away in the hills where they've been farming for generations and fighting back against their evil enemies. The Verming are making a return, our awesome rabbit friends from Mists of Pandaria. May even see some Shadowpan show up too. Let's take a quick look at our new islands. Awesome. So this is a shot of our brand new Warfront coming in Tides of Vengeance, and in Rise of Ashara, we'll make another advancement to our Warfront system for all those of you that have been wanting to play along with your friends on Warfronts, that have wanted to have a higher difficulty thing to play against, that has large group content when your raid is down for the week. We will be introducing Heroic Warfronts. This is 10+ players. Bring whoever's in your guild and is online at the time. We've got new mechanics, new commanders, and with a higher difficulty and higher item level rewards, you're really going to have to make sure you head back and defend, or you might find yourself on the losing end of a warfront. For all those that like PvP, we will be introducing a brand new arena. Amongst the clanking, whizzing gears of Mechagon is Mechagon Arena. And of course, flying is coming back along with it. A whole lot of great new mounts, including the bee, the griffin, and these awesome mechanical parrots. Battle for Azeroth Season 3 will be beginning with a Nazjatar-themed affix, item level increase across the board, and a new PvP season along the same side. These are the new mounts for the PvP season, these vicious basilisks. And we've got this purple Gladiator's Proto-Drake. So running out of time, let's just do a quick recap of everything coming your way in Rise of Ashara. We've got Nazjatar, the Zone, Mechagon, the Zone, Azshar's Eternal Palace, Mechagon Mega Dungeon, the Gnome and Tauren Heritage Armor sets, brand new islands, Heroic Warfronts, the Junker Gnome Arena, Flying, and BFA Season 3. When is all of this coming your way? Well, after 815. But suffice it to say, we're happy with the cadence of content that's coming out, and you'll see the PTR come up soon after 815 launches. Thank you all for coming out to watch our WoW What's Next panel. But that isn't the end of the story of Battle for Azeroth. In fact, we have other things coming your way as well in the future. But that's a story for another time. We really appreciate you coming out to watch our panel today. We hope you enjoy playing this content as much as we enjoyed making it. Please come out to our WoW Q&A panel tomorrow at the same time on this stage and ask all your questions. On behalf of everybody on the World of Warcraft team, thank you so much, and we'll see you in Azeroth.